There are a lot of reasons Miami should win this game. Vegas thinks they will. They're the favorite. It's a short week, and they're at home. The Bills neither team got out of week one totally unscathed, but the Bills, I think, are more banged up, particularly defensively. And I thought where I was kind of pushing back a bit about are the Bills a tough team is defensively. They didn't look very tough against Arizona in week one. They got run on, and, if they throw a pass interference flag at the end of that game, maybe the Bills lose that game. Yeah. That was one of the ones we didn't talk so much about how close they were to maybe losing that game. And they were down 2 scores, 17-3 or 17-0 early in that game. And from an emotional standpoint, Miami has to win. Miami, if they are going to win the division, you have to at least split with Buffalo. Not that they can't win in Buffalo, but this is their spot, and Buffalo owned them last year. To Brew's point, once when they were flying their highest, coming off a 70-point game, the Bills cracked them. Yep. And then once when they were at their lowest after the Ravens had rolled them, the Bills beat them again. So all those things say this should be Miami's game.
Come on.
But I cannot pick Tua in this spot. Brew did the Josh Allen angle. Yep. I'm going to do the Tua angle. Because Tua in his career against this opponent is dreadful. Tua, whether it's because you see Josh Allen across the field, whether it's because some of the games have been cold, or whether it's because every year Tua's been in the league, the Bills have been good to very good, and doesn't excel in those matchups. Here's the other thing. I think Tua knows, and the Dolphins know, this is a very big game. And in the biggest spots in his career, Tua has failed to come through in each and every one of them. We showed you this graphic going into the playoff game last year. We have now updated it. Week 17, his first year as a starter. Tua, with the playoffs on the line, they get blasted, and he was bad. The next year, they need to win that week and the following week to make the playoffs. They get blasted, and he's bad. Last year, they can be the 1 seed going into week 17. Yeah. They get blasted, and he's bad. Last year, they can win the division if they win in week 18. They don't get blasted, but he's bad. Last year, in his first ever playoff game, they get blasted, and he's bad.
It's freezing.
And so, yes, and I understand it was cold. In the Chiefs game, it was legitimately freezing. But Wilds, they paid this guy like he's great.
I know.
Some smart football people and you picked them to go to the Super Bowl. So they are not.
For the record, I thought the smart people included.
They are not some plucky underdog. They are the literal favorite.
Yep.
And I would argue they had the better performance of the two teams in week one.
Yeah.
I think they were playing the tougher opponent, and they both had comeback victories, but I thought Allen was the best player on, well, Tyreek's pretty damn good in week one, but you understand. I thought
Allen was dominant.
Allen was dominant, but I thought the Dolphins had the better game.
Okay. Let's talk about this, because there's a few things that are going on as I see it. First off, I hate when we look at these stats about Tua, because I just think it's so misleading. You're talking about when he was, new to the league with bad coaches, took a minute to get him going with new head coach, a head coach that actually believes in him. So to kind of use that against him, or the weather was ridiculous, and both quarterbacks or both teams, everyone's kind of struggling a little bit. And I just think it's misleading and not fair, right? And just to say that Tua just never or can't succeed in these situations, I think is just absurd. I just don't think that's fair. Listen, do I think that Tua is the greatest quarterback to ever live? No, but I just think we're just not being fair to him. Not to mention, I don't understand why this game, we're trying to act like this game is just the most important game that Tua or Josh Allen has played against. I just disagree with that, and I made a whole video kind of breaking that down. It's a divisional game. It's exciting, and we should build it up and have fun with it, but we don't have to make it something that it's not. We just don't have to do that. And I just don't understand why we are. We can talk about this game being exciting, being and being a divisional rivalry and kind of the division slowly being at stake since it's only week 2. But like, we don't have to act like this is just do or die, because it's just not. It's just not. And Josh Allen is an absolute monster. So if the Dolphins lose this game, it's just not the biggest thing in the world, because, say it with me, Josh Allen is an absolute monster. He is a beast. So just stop acting like it's just easy to just get past Josh Allen, because it's not. It's just not. So I think they're just like, we can give a little bit of grace here and there. And I understand Tua got paid. I understand the expectations for Tua and the Dolphins are high. And the Dolphins fans at this point are like, let's win. Let's go. Let's do this. Right? I get it. I really, really do. But there's just more at stake here. You have to look at it from a more long-term perspective, a more whole season perspective. Was it, it's just, you know how many times that teams lose against the division, but then still go on to win the division, or go on to go further in the playoffs or make it to the Super Bowl. So I just don't get it, why we have to have these such extreme swings that we're making this out to be. And like, I feel like they're trying to shape this game up to be like, if Tua loses this game, it just shows that Tua can't win big games, or that Tua can't beat Josh Allen, Tua can't beat the Bills. And I just don't think that's fair, quite frankly. And I just think we're heightening this to just too extreme of a level to me personally. I just think it's, again, we can talk about how great and exciting this game is. We can sell this game, because I feel like that's part of the purpose, right? To sell this game and talk about how important it is. We can sell it without having to make it feel where it's do or die. Because here's the thing. This is where these people, just anyone, media in general, set these guys up to fail. Because if Josh Allen wins this game, right, the Bills win this game, it's Tua's awful. Tua can't do anything. The Dolphins can't beat the Bills. I told you. And if the Dolphins win this game, it's, I told you. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, they're just not good enough. They, their team's not resilient enough. They're already banged up. It's week 2. Josh Allen's not good enough to get this team over the hump, right? Like, it's just no matter how you want to slice it, that's the way it goes. And since this clip was broken up, I guess I'm just going to make another video, I guess talking about it more from the Bill side. So I'll keep this more like Dolphins focused. But I just don't think all the eggs have to go in this basket. I do think the Dolphins have to play really good. And I do think that Tua needs to play really good. I do believe that. But it's just, I don't think that the outcome is where we then figure out, was this good or bad? I just don't. And like I said in my previous video about Tua and the Dolphins versus Buffalo, like, there's this whole idea where you have a ton of Dallas Cowboys fans taking pride in beating the Eagles, and they're like, they say that in virtually like every comment section. Yeah, well, the Cowboys own the Eagles. Cowboys own the Eagles. And it's like, in the last 7 years, the Eagles have more, the same number of Super Bowls that Dak Prescott has playoff wins. So go ahead, enjoy some of your divisional victories. Hang your hat on that. At the end of the day, it's meaningless. At the end of the day, it's meaningless. And as long as the Miami Dolphins continue to get better, continue to compete, Tua continues to get better, continues to compete, and the Dolphins start to make some playoff runs, get to the AFC Championship game, win that, get to the Super Bowl, win that, just start really being a true contender, it doesn't matter what their record is as a whole against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. It just doesn't. But those are just my thoughts. I would absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think this would be devastating for the Miami Dolphins if they don't win this game? And do you agree with Nick that the Bills will indeed win this game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.